So we're getting ready to go on our first flight as a big boy.
We had to wait.
Whatever that means.
We had to wait.
I filmed this earlier, but I filmed the whole thing in slow motion.
Wait.
What?
Wait.
Wait, what?
You had to wait for an airplane to fly.
Oh, he wants me to wait until the airplane is flying, but we're not gonna do that because it's gonna get super loud. So we are on our way to go visit Nicole. She's Nicole Renee here on YouTube.
I'm going to fly. I'm going to fly now.
So we have
I'm going to fly.
we have like a 2-hour flight. We have toys, we have tablets, we have whatever we're gonna need to get through this.
Now.
And he's been really, really good. He's just now starting to lose his patience, right? We're ready to be flying. So next stop is Minnesota. Roman, are you excited to go fly?
Are we flying now?
We're not flying yet. You'll know it. You'll definitely know when we start flying. You having fun, baby?
Oh, done.
Not yet. We have 2 more stops to go. Made it! We are here waiting on Miss Nicole to come pick us up. Right, Roman? Roman saw the snow immediately, like as soon as we started our descent, and he started screaming about snow, and he thought we were where Santa lives. So we had to have a little conversation about how this is not the North Pole. Okay, well, Roman has to go poo-poo, right? Doing the poo-poo dance. So we're gonna go and let Nicole know that we're gonna be back in a minute. I feel so uncultured that I'm like, oh my god, look at the snow. I need to film it. Look who I'm here with. That worked out really well. So Roman decided to reveal that he had to poop, although we had already stopped by the bathroom. Right as Nicole was presumably pulling up to pick us up, and I thought I thought they were gonna route you away. Like I thought they were gonna tell you, shoo, you can't stay here. So I was like, great, she's gonna have to go drive around the airport a couple more times. But we pulled out, like we came walking out of the airport at the exact moment that Nicole was pulling in, which is why I didn't actually get any footage of us seeing each other and giving each other a big hug, because finally we see each other. There's the babies back there. Hey Rhea. Hey Romy. Look at what shoes I'm wearing. Such a southerner to come here in these shoes. Obviously don't know what I'm doing. Look at the shoes I'm wearing, Nicole. Like, who the hell's my problem?
Do you have any other shoes?
No, I do not.
Okay, well you can borrow some of mine if they fit. Roman's ready to build a snowman.
What do you think, Romy?
One's inevitably gonna fall in your mouth.
Oh my goodness, look at Olive. Oh my goodness.
She's so big, isn't she, from last time?
You grew so much. How'd you get so big? How you feeling, Nicole?
Good.
You look
Feels good.
so much more appropriate out here than I do. I was not ready. So I figured we wouldn't be spending much time out here. So I didn't really bring a warm coat. I thought, if I'm just going from the airport to the car, then I don't really need a super warm jacket. But Roman insisted on coming outside to play in the snow, which I should have foreseen. So I have on like 3 hoodies and a jacket. I also am wearing someone else's shoes because I brought Tom's of all stupid things.
Ow!
It's okay.
Mommy,
Can you get up?
Mommy,
Hi, Olive. Hello. Wow, baby. What you got there?
No. Dixie, look at I found.
So me and Nicole are out here in the snow talking about children and the future. Discussing the fact that I am definitely done with kids. And Nicole, sitting over here holding a little one strapped to her chest, isn't quite sure yet. To which I say,
Why not just keep doing it? Plus, if you have 3 kids, life's already crazy. Like, what's one more, right? You know?
it's one more. Like,
Your hands are cold. Do you want your gloves back on? Mama, can you help me, please?
Mommy.
yes?
Mommy.
Yes,
what
baby?
Does this do?
What's what do?
What does this do?
Well, that's Play-Doh. So we're gonna put this right here. And watch his back when you push that down. Whoa, look. Look at his scales. Hey guys, what are we doing today?
Chuck E. Cheese.
Can you jump around like you were?
Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese.
Woo! You excited, Nicole, for Chuck E. Cheese?
Always. I like the pizza.
So we're thinking if we get the kids out like kind of early today. That my son has been a little intense. I don't know if you can tell.
Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese.
So we're gonna try to get out a little bit early today and get them to Chuck E. Cheese and just like absolutely wear these children out. Get some pizza, maybe have a lunch beer. Don't know. Haven't made up our minds yet. And hope that maybe the rest of the day is a little less intense than yesterday was. Because, yes.
Running.
In addition to everything else,
Mommy.
his nose is a faucet right now. Like, will not stop.
Mommy.
And it's just this like constant. I'm just gonna put like a bucket underneath his nose at this point. There you go.
My nose
Still running? Okay, blow. So that is our plan, and we're hoping that it pans out because it's just, again, my son Roman is just being, I don't know if it's because we're in a new place or like just seeing the snow for the first time, or just being around other kids or seeing me around other people, but he's been like really all up in my business. We are on our way to Chuck E. Cheese. We actually got out the door on time. Like we said we were gonna leave at 11:30, and we've been driving for about 5 minutes.
Yep.
So we left exactly on time, which with 4 kids in tow is pretty impressive. 3 of those being Nicole, so I don't get much credit. Like she did all of that. Watching you this week or today and yesterday has been crazy. Like I constantly say I don't know how a person with more than 2 kids does it. And to watch you do it, you're like so just what? To watch you do it with such grace and like you just have you have it all together. I don't understand.
That is not true. Definitely not true.
It is true. It's true. I hope they can hear you. The internal mic on this is not great.
Oh really? I have not filmed it with the interior mic. I have my external mic at home. I could have grabbed it. But it's okay.
With all the snow on the ground, my southern eyeballs like cannot deal.
It is weird, like with all the reflection. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's like painful on my eyes. Hey, Rhea. Hey, Romy.
Maybe I didn't. Nope, I didn't hear it. You know where Melodria is?
Me and Roman actually expired our time on this shoot 'em up car game over here. We had 45 minutes on these cars and we completely used it all up on one game. So I'm gonna have to go recharge this. It's my last day here. We just got home from church a little while ago, which was really funny because I showed like a little picture on Instagram stories of us in that church, and I had put a little caption that said like, here at Nicole's church where her dad is the pastor, and someone who follows me on Instagram actually DM'd me and said, everybody loves that church, Eric is the best, and Eric is Nicole's dad's name. So it's really crazy to realize, right, that like someone who I don't know who follows me like goes to that church or knows Nicole's dad or something. It was really cool. You guys wanted to know from Nicole, like what are her tips for transitioning to 3 kids. We're just gonna set up the camera. That's what Nicole's doing right now, and we're just gonna film. I don't know. We're just gonna chit chat here on camera. Okay, so like one of the things that people asked a lot in my Instagram poll was like, very interested in you and like how you're doing with 3 kids. And I guess for me too, like, because I know you personally, and I know that you were sort of like, y'all really wanted a 3rd, but you also maybe had some reservations about like how that transition was going to be, and now y'all are in the process of trying to decide if you want more and whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
that whole process is probably foreign to a lot of people who are more like me and are like, I have 2 and I'm good and I'm certain of that.
Sure.
You know?
I think what I'm discovering, and I think you probably can relate with this, like in general, it's different for everybody. Like our journey to 3 looks so different than a lot of other people's to 3.
What was like when you were pregnant with Olive, like getting ready to have her, like in the final weeks, what was the thing that was like worrying you the most, that you were like having the most anxiety over, knowing that a new baby was coming?
Probably Rhea, and not for the same reasons that I think people assume. Rhea is, I think everyone can pick their challenging child. None of us have favorites, none of us have least favorites, but so we do have children that are more difficult in certain ways. And Rhea, who is 2, almost 3, is my most difficult, and she demands a lot of attention and a lot of discipline sometimes. So I was worried a lot about basically being able to properly parent Rhea, knowing how much attention the newborn would need. The blessing of this is that Rhea has never been a super clingy child, so she's never really been very like jealous of the baby or anything, just because she was never that attached to me in that way. Like, she never insisted on cuddling or anything. But I would say that was my biggest thing, and just feeling like I wouldn't get any time like for myself or any time with Luke. And that has probably proven to be the most challenging, because I think everyone struggles to find time alone for themselves, and especially with their spouse. But I've discovered it's much more difficult. It's a bigger ask for someone to watch 3 kids than it is to watch 2, and even 1. You know, like when we had just Melody, it was no big deal. Somebody would babysit her, no problem. And even when we had Melody and Rhea, anyone would be willing to watch our 2 kids. And now that we're like, hey, can you babysit our horde of children? Like, that's how it feels. So that's been probably our biggest struggle, is just finding people who we feel comfortable watching our kids, who are capable of watching our kids, and we don't feel guilty burdening them with that.
At least for you, like with their ages, so you've got a 6-year-old, an almost 3-year-old, and a newborn.
Yep.
Like, at least there will come a time where Melody theoretically will be able to, at least, like, not for a long time, but will be able to watch the girls.
Yeah.
I
She
mean,
could at least be like a supervisor at home or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so like when Olive is 8 and Melody is 14, like that's right at a great age to be babysitting. That'll be nice.
Well, and even now, and this is what we were talking about before, where I feel like my transition to 3, I see other people who have 3 children much younger than mine, like where their oldest is only about 4, and to me that is something that I can't speak to, because that would be so challenging. I am very fortunate to have an oldest who is almost entirely independent in a lot of ways, and not only so that, but she genuinely does help me. She actually is a help a lot of the time. She entertains her little sisters, and she really does. She communicates well. Like, I can't imagine if my oldest was only like 4 or 5, and I know that that's the boat that a lot of people are in, but I'm just really fortunate that she can be a helper that way. Someone asked me a few months after we had Olive, like, well, how's it going with 3 kids, and like, what's the transition been like? And I said, it hasn't been too bad. My standards are a lot lower, and that's why it has to be that way. There's certain things where you can't compromise your standards, like time with your spouse and everything. I don't want to say that, but like overall, just in general, try not to sweat the little stuff. And that's like such a cliche, but it has to be the case when you have the 3. And it even means sometimes that, like, for a moment, Olive has to cry on the floor for a minute while I'm finishing up another task. Those types of things, I've had to lower my standard as a mom a little bit, because you can't tend to 3 small children simultaneously perfectly every single time. And if I can come to terms with that and be okay with that, then it's a lot easier.
You're just always putting that pressure on yourself, like you said, to be perfect all the time to all of them, and you just can't.
It's not possible. People always say, like, you can have it all, and in a lot of ways you can, but your time is limited. You only have so much time in the day. If you can learn to kind of, like you said, prioritize and decide what actually needs your attention right now, and just be okay with letting some of the other stuff fall off the plate a little bit, and delegating.
So I'm gonna conclude this part, but it's not the end of the vlog. I'm sure you can see by the timeline. But unless you had anything else you wanted to say?
No.
All right then. Bye. Roman, don't look at, are you excited to go home? Ready to go home and see Daddy? Yeah, airplane will be here in a little bit, baby. So today's the last day of our trip. We are heading home. It's been fun, a little intense. Roman has definitely just been interesting, being around other kids, him seeing me around other kids. But it was a great trip. We're sad to be leaving, but of course excited to go home and see Dad and Abby, all that fun stuff. Our flight is here. Charlie. Yeah, we're gonna go see Charlie. So,
Abby!
and Abby. So I guess we'll go ahead and end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed this one.
Mommy!
I'll see you in the next one.